Hello, I'm Steve Hermitage, and in this short video we'll take a brief look at how changing your lens and changing your distance from a subject can dramatically affect the creative feel to your final image. Now we're going to take a number of shots of these 5 wine glasses, and there aren't any prizes for the lighting or best photos here. The images are just a way of illustrating some of the principles. Now before we get going, let's make a couple of definitions. The angle of view, well, that's just really the amount of scene that gets recorded in the final image and is dependent on the focal length of the lens and the size of the camera's sensor. The focal length of a lens determines how much magnification it provides. So a lens with a shorter focal length will be able to see a wider angle of view of the subject, compared to a lens with a longer focal length, which would see a narrower view of the scene but with a higher level of magnification. Okay, well, let's not get too technical, let's see this in action. We've positioned the camera here around about 3 meters from the wine glasses. Now if we take an image using an 18mm lens, you'll see that lots of the scene is recorded, but the wine glasses are pretty small and they seem far away. If we change the lens and use now a 55mm lens on the camera and take an image, we're still at 3 meters away, but you can see we've zoomed in a bit more and we record less of the scene compared to the 18mm lens. Now if we go for a 105mm lens, we're still at 3 meters, but you'll see now we've zoomed in even more and we record just the wine glasses themselves. So here comes the interesting bit. You'll see in this image that the piece of wood that we're using to support the wine glasses is around about the width of the frame. If we swap back to the 55mm lens and this time move closer to the subject, we're now at around about 1.5 meters. We take the same image again, and the piece of wood that the wine glasses are resting on is still the width of the frame, but we end up recording more of the scene because the 55mm lens has a wider angle of view compared to the 105mm lens. In addition, you'll see the perspective of the wine glass at the back and at the front of the shot has changed. Now this is even more dramatic if we swap to the 18mm lens and move even closer into the subject. We're now about 1/2 meter away. You'll see in this image the piece of wood is still the width of the frame, but the wine glass at the back and the front are completely different heights. And using an 18mm lens and moving closer to the subject will result in a very different image than if we'd used the 105mm lens but further away. So this is a good way of changing the look and feel of your image. Next time you're out and about, have a look at varying the focal length of your lens and at the same time your distance to the subject, and you could end up with some really quite creative results.